the museum was looking for a new director. And it was, I have to tell you frankly, it was the, in a way, it was the exact job I did not want. I did not want to become the director of a small, struggling organization. I wanted to go into a larger organization with a lot of expertise where I could really learn from people who knew what they were doing, and that didn't happen. I ended up here, and you know, it's a wonderful place. I mean, people get involved at Rokeby. There's a way, you know, we get our hooks in them, or the Robinsons do. You really just can get very devoted to this site and this family. In my frustration at not being able to answer our visitors' questions, I started this research. Researching anonymous people is hard. It's actually not that hard. We always say it's hard, but the truth is it's a barrel of fun. I really had no idea. You know, I had no idea what I would find. I did not expect to find a lot. You always start with a census. You go to 1790, 1800, 1810. People are identified by race in the census, so you can go through and you can pull out all of the African Americans. And it was much harder when I started. When did I start this? I don't know when I started it. I started with microfilm, which is a real pain in the neck. Now all the census material is on. It's just, you don't even have to leave your chair. It's so easy. And you don't get that horrible neck ache and headache. And so I started pulling out all these names, and I was kind of surprised that I found as many people as I did. Those censuses are well known for being inaccurate. They undercounted people. For example, in 1810, in Chittenden County, which is in Charlotte, there's nobody enumerated. None of the black Charlotters are enumerated. At the end of all the entries for the town of Charlotte, there's just a number for the number of black people living in Charlotte that year. The census taker got lazy in 1810? I have no idea why that happened or why it was tolerated. So you pull out all these names. As the census goes on, in the later years, you get more and more information. Starting in around 1850, you get a lot of information. Names of everyone in the household, what kind of work people do, whether they can read, whether they can write, whether they're enrolled in school, where they were born, where their parents were born. You really start to be able to flesh it out. And I just kept pulling this information into eventually into a sort of a database. Then I went to the town halls. Vermont is, well, all of New England, but Vermont in particular, I think, is a little different than the rest of the country in that everything happens at the town level. So you go to the town hall. You start pulling out town records. You pull out, land records are the most reliable. Land involves money. You know, it's the transfer of land and in exchange with money. So clear records are kept. And you can find out family relationships through land records, you know, things that you wouldn't normally think to look for there. The 19th century vital records, births, deaths, marriages, that kind of information was very badly kept. So there's some. But all in all, I really feel like I got much more than I ever imagined I would find. And then when you start to aggregate it, you can start to see how things worked beyond just the level of, you know, an individual or a family. So I have just that first step where I have pulled the basic data, I have the names, and I haven't yet compiled. And now I know about Excel. I didn't know about Excel when I started this. So now I have all of this in Excel databases, you know, spreadsheets. And I can eventually pull it all together into one for the whole state. Although I don't relish the thought of doing that. But the next steps, which involve town halls, church records, you call up all the local churches, some of them have their 19th century records. I found, you know, a lot of information about what churches people went to. Probate records are a little iffy. What other kind of records? Those are the main ones that you can search. But yeah, I just did it. It's, you know, it's just a project.